everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. We're going to continue our playthrough of HEXplore It, the Valley of the Dead King. As you can see, we're currently in a city as of the last video, and the Dead King has shown up on the map. So a fallen city has already occurred way over here in city number 1, which is too bad, and this is going to increase the Dead King's movement, which we have noted now is a speed of 2 on subsequent rounds. When the Dead King activates in this coming round, he's going to target one of these cities and go after it, and we're going to have to do our best to either try to reclaim the cities that Dead King has taken down, or just eventually fight him if we feel ourselves to be powerful enough to do so. So let's go ahead with the start of this round. The very first thing I want to mention is Remy actually commented on the prior video and made a note and let me know that because we had actually taken out some bandits and gained some food, when I actually did some adjustments with my food here, the Guardian actually should be 2 food higher than where the Guardian currently is. So I made a mistake when I was adjusting my food, so I actually have more food with the Guardian than I thought I did. I have a 4 with the Guardian, and you can see that if you head back to that prior video where that's explained. Now, we're going to move forward here with this particular game turn, so we got to figure out how we're going to move. Well, we're still heading right here. And what is this again? This is the Magi Tower. I don't even know if that's the correct way to pronounce it, but I'm going to go with that. It's this one right here, quest number 3. So let's go ahead and read this again. I've read this in the past, but it's good to remind ourselves what this one's all about. It says a powerful magi, I really don't know which way is the right way on that one, so let me know, first or second. Used to dwell in this crumbling tower. For centuries, no one has seen her. A human scholar has translated the riddle that may unlock the tower's upper chamber. Go there and poke around. So we need 2 successes when we hit that location in order to then optionally do the challenge, because once we've gained entry to the upper chamber by being successful, then we can go ahead optionally and try to go after this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's try right now to see if we can get the successes that we need. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move, because that's the first thing we do on a game turn for the heroes. And we're going to choose to move cautiously, because as you can see, we can move 2 cautiously because we have the reliable mounts, which give us that increased movement, which is just perfect enough for us to move twice. Now, before we do this, because before the movement occurs, technically we also have camp gear. We don't want to forget about that, because camp gear before the movement phase actually gives you back a health and energy. So now this is going to actually bring our Guardian and our Summoner to full health, which is awesome, because going into whatever this tower has for us, or whatever the future holds, it's always good to have full health. So both of these characters now are going to be corrected so that they have their full health ready for them. So we got a 7 and a 7 here. So now that we've gone ahead and we've moved cautiously 2 spaces, we're going to have to go ahead now and roll our blue, which is our survival die, and our explore die. So let's do that for each of our characters. This is going to be the summoner's result. So let's see what happens. We got a 4 and a 4. That's not bad. Let's go over here to the Guardian and do the exact same thing. A 7 and a 6. So that's going to be 2 fails on the Guardian for sure. So the first one we'll resolve is the gold one. So as of right now, we're very lucky, because a 4 here will actually have the Summoner actually gain some gold. So we're going to actually gain 2 gold on the Summoner. So I'm going to go ahead right now and put that into the gold position here, which is fantastic. There we go. And then next up, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to resolve the 4 from the other die, the survival die. Now this is we needed a 2 in order to get past this, and we did not. We were not underneath that, or we did not meet that. So because of that, we're going to have to consume some food equal to our level. So our level is going to, in terms of food, is going to drop by 2. So we're going to go down the track to 8. Just like that. All right. Next up, we're going to come over to the other side, and we can see we got a 7 and a 6. Now, we've already talked about the change in food level here, but because I failed, obviously, based on the 3 and 3, both of those are going to fail. I don't get any gold, and I also lose 1 food. I have to consume 1 food for our journey. Not too bad, though. So now what we're going to do is we've actually resolved everything we have to do for the movement phase. And we're going to continue on. So as I mentioned here, we already moved to the tower, and now that we are at this particular tower because we are on a quest location, we'll go ahead and try to do this. So this one again allows us to roll our Explorer dice. So each of our characters are going to roll an Explorer die. Now what you might be wondering is, it does note here 2 successes are required. You might be saying, do you need 2 successes on this attempt right now in order for it to in order for you to be successful? No, inside of the rulebook, it actually states that on these particular quests where you're going for successes, you can gain successes throughout multiple turns. So it just essentially means you don't get to go down any further in that quest until you succeed at that explore first. But if I was to happen to roll, you know, my explore die for my summoner and my explore die for my guardian, and one of them comes up to a success, well, we're halfway there, and we can count that the next time we go back to try to get our second success. Because otherwise, I mean, you could end up sitting there for a very long time, but that's how the game rules state. So we're going to go ahead and roll both of the dice for both of our characters, but we should roll them individually so we don't get confused as to who is who. So we'll do the Guardian first. Is the Guardian successful? Massively successful. That's awesome. And that's a critical success. And this one, a 4, which is a success. I cannot believe this, but we've actually passed that quest on this particular roll. That's incredible. Now you might have wondered what this symbol was in the bottom left-hand corner. Well, this worked out perfect. And because of landing this critical success with the hex symbol, this character, being our guardian, is going to gain this critical success bonus, which is fantastic. It's going to boost the stat of the second mastery by 1. So that's really cool. So automatically, without doing anything further, my reflected assault now is going to go up to a level 6. That's awesome. I didn't have to pay anything for that. So now we're just going to go ahead and make that quick adjustment, which I'm happy to do. That's awesome. That makes life even better. So we've actually gone ahead and succeeded at this, and now optionally we can go ahead and do the challenge, which I'm absolutely going to do based on the success we just got. Now again, I rolled a success over here, but it wasn't a critical success, so I won't be getting any kind of boost here. So let's go to the challenge and find out what happens. It says, once you've gained entry into the upper chamber, you may choose to camp here. If you do, roll the quest die again. If any hero rolls a 1, each hero gains a +2 bonus to their second mastery, and the group may use the teleportation circle to move anywhere on the map next turn. That's really cool. All right, so we're going to continue on with this quest here, and what it says essentially is, it says in the challenge section that if you do gain entry, which we did because we got 2 successes, we're going to stay here in camp and gain some health back, which we don't need because we're fully up on health, so we can move past that. But it says here that we're going to go ahead and roll the quest die again. Now, the wording on that seems weird because we never rolled a quest die in the first place. I think what they're referring to is this die, because it's the only die that's been rolled to this point. So I'm assuming these are the dice we would be rolling, because it does say that each hero has to roll it, and these are the dice that are given to each character. I wouldn't assume that it would be this die here, because this die isn't given to each character at the beginning of the game. So we're going to be rolling each of these, and how these challenges works is, first of all, they're optional. You don't have to do them. If I chose not to do the challenge, I can flip this over, consider it completed, and head towards the nearest city in order to get my reward. However, if I decide to go after the challenge, the second I attempt to go for the challenge, I must complete the challenge before I'm able to actually cash it in at a city. And that's kind of the sticking point if you want to push your luck and try to get something better. And I think we do, because we want to be able to use that tower to teleport somewhere else on the map. So I'm going to risk it. We're going to need essentially a hex on one of these 2 in order to succeed at it, as well as if any hero rolls that, each hero is going to gain +2 to their secondary mastery, which is going to be, this one is going to be bumped up by 2, and this one will be bumped up by 2, which will be hugely helpful for me. So I'm going to roll these dice. We're going to cross our fingers. Well, at least you guys can for me, because I can't. And hope that we land a hex here, because that's what we need in order to succeed at this challenge. Okay, so we got a 5, so that didn't work out right now. Now we'll come over here, roll 1 time for the Guardian. We got a 4, so we did not get what we needed on that particular quest. All right, now we're going to go ahead and activate the Dead King. So the Dead King is not going to move because his target hasn't been assigned yet. So first we're going to assign a target for him by rolling the hex die to find out which city he's going to be targeting, and then heading towards in future rounds. We got a 2. Where is number 2? Number 2 is way up here, way up north. So we're going to take the Dead King target token, which you can see right here. If I can get the shimmer to go away for me. There we go. And it's going to land all the way up there in the second city. So that second city, if you're not familiar, is called Dragon's Port. And he's already taken the City of Silver, and we're just outside of the Restwind Dale. So not good, but he's staying on that side of the board at least. So this is going to go ahead and end the full first round. All right, so let's go ahead and start round number 2. Now, we are currently sitting on that tower. We succeeded at the quest. Now, in order to continue with this challenge, which we've now invoked by trying at least once, we're going to have to camp here in order to do that. So camping has its own section, which we can just reference right here. So if we choose not to move this turn, instead you spend your time healing and exploring the surrounding countryside. You'll heal 3 health and energy this turn. Roll only the Explore and Survival with a -1 bonus to the roll result. This is cumulative, and you camp for more than this is cumulative if you camp for more than 1 round. In addition, you may discard the circumstance you roll this turn. Okay, so what's going to end up happening here is we're going to camp. That's what we're going to decide to do because we want to try to get that Explore again. This is risky because, well, first off, we still need to land a Hex in order for this to succeed, so this may not, and I am taking a gamble here by even trying this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to camp, and because of that, we still have to roll our Survival die and our Explore die with a -1 hit to both of them. So let's roll for the Guardian first and see what we get. A 4 and a 2. Okay, so that's actually not so bad. I think that's actually going to help us. I'm trying to think here. Oh, sorry, -1. That's a good thing. My mistake. Yeah, like with a -1 bonus to the roll result, that is going to make that a really successful roll. So as luck would have it, we're actually going to succeed at both of those because of the fact we got the -1 bonus. The 2 already succeeded, but the 4 now is going to succeed. So that's really fantastic. But let's go over here and roll for the summoner to find out how the summoner fares. See if things get lucky. Okay, 2, good. We're not going to end up consuming any extra food. That's fantastic. So that was actually really, really good. We didn't get any gold for the summoner here, but the summoner has 2 from the prior round. We did get gold over here for the Guardian, so we did find some gold while we were sitting around camping. We also have found and scavenged enough food that we don't need to consume any food from the Guardian, and we also don't need to consume any food from the summoner. So that's fantastic, and because of that, now we can go ahead and move into the event phase because we have the choice, because we camped, to essentially discard the circumstance we roll this turn. So I have to roll in order to, a circumstance is going to occur, but I have the chance to discard it, and that's always a good thing. So let's go ahead and roll that circumstance die and find out what happens while we camped. So we got a 4. What is a 4? That's going to be this one way up here. So this one's called Achelon's Astrolabe. You found an astrolabe bearing the Maker's Mark. I'm trying to get this to focus here. There we go. The Explorer and the Cartographer. The item is constructed like no astrolabe you've ever seen, and it is apparent that powerful magic is woven within. While you carry it, you may choose to ignore any wander result. That's really good. In addition, this item may be used twice per game in order to grant the group an extra movement and event phase. Ooh, that's pretty good too. In doing so, the group may move again and complete one event at the new location. This power may be used anytime outside of combat. Upon the second use, the item's magical nature fades and has become... I am not discarding that. That's a treasure. I'm keeping it. Thank you very much. As you can see here, this one says that we're going to, it says twice, right? In addition, this item may be used twice per game in order to grant that. Yes, so we're going to add this to our pile of items we've got over here. And I'm going to use another die to denote we've got 2 uses of this thing before it essentially disappears. Not 5, 2. Perfect, that's awesome. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Now we're going to move into the event phase, and during this event phase, I believe this is when we're going to go ahead and try to do the challenge, if I'm not mistaken. So the challenge here, again, says once you've gained entry to the upper chamber, which we have, you may choose to camp here. We did. If we do, we roll the quest die again, and if any hero rolls a 1, each hero gains that special bonus, and we move on. So this is a gamble again. It could be a waste of time, but I'm trying it. So we're going to roll with the Guardian here. We got a hex. We got the hex. We succeeded. Thank you. I don't know if I'm thanking myself. I don't know who I'm thanking, but we passed. I was so glad because I think I was only going to spend about 2 times on that, and then I was going to say, you know what, I can't sit here forever. So that worked out. So this is fantastic. So let's take a look here. It says if any hero rolls a 1, each hero gains +2 bonus on their second mastery. So that's really powerful. So our second mastery here for Reflected Assault now is going to go up to an 8, which is crazy powerful. That's really good. And then even over here for the Summoner now, the Summoner is going to move up to a 7, which is fantastic. That's really, really good because these are really powerful abilities that are really going to help us later on. That was the worst written 7 I've ever seen. Okay, perfect. So we did that, and the bonus for doing this, on top of that, it says that if any hero... So we got the +2 bonus for second mastery, and now we can actually move anywhere on the map next turn. So basically during our movement phase, my assumption would be that we just teleport and we maybe skip the movement phase completely because basically we're going to exactly where we want to go, would be my assumption. And I don't know whether they consider that what type of movement that will end up being. I don't know if I'll even end up having to roll. I don't think I'll have to roll because it's a teleport. So maybe it's kind of like a free movement. They don't really specify, but I'm going to go with that. Sometimes you have to make these kind of decisions on these types of quests. But anyway, we've actually completed this. So we're going to go ahead and flip it over. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a die on it just to remember to use this teleport later on. But we've completed it, so now we can turn it in later on into a city, or turn it in at a city, I should say, in order to gain the power-up card for each of our heroes, which would be really cool. So that worked out really good. So now we've gone ahead and we've completed our event, which worked out phenomenally. We're going to take these other dice out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and activate the Dead King. So again, right now, normally the Dead King would move 1 hex, and then because he's already taken a city, he's going to move an additional hex, which is we've got labeled right here. So he's moving 2, and he's heading towards this area. Again, he's not impeded by any mountains or anything like that, so he can trot right through all the mountains without any problem whatsoever. So whatever the fastest route is really where he's going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only really one route, so I'm going to head him down this way. But he is on his way. He's heading to that other city. So that's interesting. The other thing I forgot to do, guys, and I apologize for this, is I forgot to replenish the circumstance deck area there. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, I guess technically this would be the beginning of a new round for us. So we can go one more round, I think, and then we'll end the video. So what we're going to do, and this is going to be the interesting part, is where do I want to teleport to? It really comes down to my quests, because I've got some options here now. We've got another invasion, which should be pretty straightforward to handle, will give us some help. We have this aid one here. Now, what I'm thinking about with the aid one is you need to grab somebody from a mine here, and you have to grab them from this particular spot, which is right here. So we are relatively close-ish. And then we have to bring it to another spot on the map that has a similar mine. So the only other spot on the map that looks like that has this symbol right here. So it essentially is a completely it's going to take us a little bit. Our fastest movement is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Yeah, it was going to take us like 3 turns just to get across the map to complete that one. So that's a little nasty. However, the cool thing is we do have the teleport ability on the next turn, which is technically right now. So we could put ourselves in a position where we're already at the location where the quest is that we want to deal with, or we could just say, the heck with it, let's go towards like a boss or something a little bit more nasty and try to take it down. Because this one right here for the bounty is essentially a giant gray slime creature, and if we go handle this gray slime creature, we're going to get a power-up card and a bunch of money, and money's not bad. Ooh, such a tough decision. Now, if we talk about the invasion one over here, it says select the first encounter you find in the open circumstance slots and place it on top of this quest. So the first one that would hit us would be the Plague Beast. That would be, if we ended up invoking that one, that's who I'd have to deal with. We do have Hags, which I just drew, but I'm going to go ahead and reverse this around so you guys can actually see it. So this is actually worse for us, but the good news is there's something in here for my summoner to summon. So if we had to make a fight, I would have another character or monstrous humanoid, I guess is what the hag is, in order to fight with us, which could be good. It says you may choose to fight, because you can fight waves of these guys if you want to earn more rewards. This is a really tough call. I'm really tempted to go after the big monster. I really kind of want to, because we boosted up our reflected assault and everything so much that I think we've got what we need between the summoner's massive secondary mastery boost here of 7 and the reflected assault of 8. So you know what? I think what I'm going to do, and I wasn't planning this, but I think this is a perfect time to stop. And I was going to go an extra round, so I do apologize for that, but I need your guys' help. I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, where do you want our party to go next? This is like a pivotal spot in the story, because we need to make sure that wherever we end up going, it makes the most logical sense. And it has to help us in terms of our quest, in terms of our power-ups, our leveling. So I want your opinion in the comments below. Let me know, where do you think our party, right now at the beginning of this round, should be teleported to, because we've now completed this particular quest. So let me know in the comments below. I'd be extremely excited to hear your feedback and comments on that. I cannot wait to read it and find out what you guys think we should do next. And then we'll jump in and we'll follow through whatever is the most popular choice across the board. So thanks so much for watching. And as always, keep on rolling solo.